Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In today's video, we'll provide you a demo on how to prevent our application from cross-site scripting attack using custom middleware in .NET Core application. I would encourage you to please watch my previous video related to cross-site scripting attack. So let's start. There are multiple ways to prevention from cross-site scripting attack. One way we will discuss in this video and other ways we will discuss in our upcoming video. So stay tuned. For this demo, I have created a .NET Core Web API and this is the Swagger page of that same application. Let me navigate to Visual Studio. We'll explain you the code. This is a Visual Studio. Let me navigate to Solution Explorer. If you noticed, it is the same boiler code which we get when we create a .NET Core Web API application. This is the same program.cs file with no change in controller. We have already provided with weather forecast controller. Now we will modify this application. I will add another controller and we will then add a code to prevent the newly added controller from cross-site scripting attack. And for this, we will create a custom middleware. So let me modify the code. Let me add the controller from the Solution Explorer. Right click on controller, add controller. From this dialog box, select MVC controller option and click on add. Provide a meaningful name, click on add. It will add a new controller in our solution. Now the new controller with cross-site is get added. Let me add my customized code first. Change the controller to controller base. Replace the existing index function with the new index function. And this index function will be of HTTP post. And if you see, we are getting an error in contact form model. So we will add a class below with the name of contact form model. Let me explain your code. At line number 8, we have index function which is returning iAction result and it is of type of HTTP post. It contains a if condition which checks if model is not equals to null. If it is not null, it will return OK success, else it is sending a bad request. And below at line number 21, we have added a property class with the name of contact form model which contain two properties, name and email. Let me build the application. We'll come back once it is built successfully. So our build is successful. This is Swagger page and if you notice, the newly created controller is not visible. For this, we have to add a root argument at the top of controller. Let me navigate back to the Visual Studio. Here, let me add the argument root. So this is a root argument and the path to access this controller is API/controller name. Let me build the application. We'll come back once the build is successful. So build is successful and this is a Swagger page and it's loaded now. And if you see, we have getting both the option. One is get weather forecast and the post method what we have created newly. And here, let me try it out. Let me provide name and email. Click on execute and if I scroll below, so you see 200 success. Now I am injecting the script. Let me execute again. You see it's showing the success, which is a wrong behavior. It should throw an error or it should not allow user to enter the name. Now let me modify the code. Navigate to Solution Explorer, right click on solution, add new folder, provide a meaningful name. Here I am providing middleware. We'll create a custom middleware here. For this, let me right click on middleware, click on add, select class and provide a meaningful name to class. Click on add. So it will create a new class named cross-site middleware. We'll use this class to create custom middleware. Let me modify the code. We'll come back once the modification is done. So now modification is done. Let me explain you this code. In this class, we have used three variables at line number 10, 11 and 12. The first variable is request delegate. The second variable is error response. And third is to store the status code. And this class cross-site middleware having the constructor which is taking one argument of type request delegate. We have another function at line number 19 with the name of read request body and it is taking an argument of type HTTP context. This function is used to read the context which we are getting in the parameter, it will read the entire context and set the position to 0. The next function is response with an error. This is also taking an HTTP context as an parameter. This function is adding header and status code in the context response. This status code is the same what we have declared at line number 12, and it is having the value bad request in it. It is creating an object of error response and passing the value description in error code, and here description is as access is detected and error code as a 500. Error response is the same class what we have created below, we will see later. And below at line number 46, it is serializing the error response object into JSON and saving it into the context.response. Let me scroll down the code. So the last function at line number 49 is invoke function, which again taking the HTTP context, and as the name suggests, it will invoke our previous two function in it. So in line number 54, it is calling a function request_body what we have created above, and it is sending the context as an object and it is reading the content, and here in variable content we are getting the entire content what we are sending from other tool. Please make a note here at line number 55 we are creating an object called HTML sanitizer. So here you have to add a nugget package of HTML sanitizer and then it will work. At line number 56 we are sanitizing the input what we are get in content variable. Here the sanitized function help us to remove the text from the text what end user sent from UI. In this way it will help us to restrict the user to enter malicious script. Though user can able to enter from UI, but before inserting to DB or to perform any other action, it will filter out here. After that we are checking that whether the content and the sanitized content both are equal or not. If it is not equal, then it will respond with an error, otherwise it will send a empty error response. Below is error response property class which contain two property, error code and description, and this same class we have already used. Now we have to use this middleware in our program.cs class. This I have added a cross-site scripting extension which contain an extension method with name use cross-site middleware. Let me navigate to Solution Explorer, open the program.cs file, and here we have to use that extension method and save our changes. If I go to the definition of this function, here you see this is the same extension method what we have created just now. Let me build the application. We'll come back once the build is successful. Build is successful. Swagger page is loaded, but this time I am not using the Swagger page. Let me navigate to Postman. This is a Postman home page. Let me open the new window, paste the URL, select post, and as this is a post method, navigate to body, select row and text with JSON, and let me paste the required JSON here. So this is a required JSON. Click on send, and if you see, it's a success. So this is a proper JSON. Now let me inject some script. So let me paste another wrong JSON here at the name place. I am injecting the script. Click on send, and here you see I am getting error code. In this way we can implement or we can prevent our application from cross-site scripting using middleware. I hope now the topic is clear for you. With this we end our video here. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.